After some anticipation and a lot of controversy, the Scream 7 trailer has finally landed online. I told you guys what I heard about the trailer a month ago, and a lot of the things I was told did end up showing up in the trailer, but there was also a handful of things I didn't know that ended up getting revealed. So that's exactly what I'll be doing here for you guys, is I'll be giving you my Scream 7 trailer reaction. I'll be breaking down some of the details we know about this trailer, theorize into how this connects to the overall Scream universe, but this won't just be about my opinion. I want to hear from you guys. What did you think of the Scream 7 trailer? Is it getting you excited? Do you think it is lacking something? But alright, kicking things off, we start with the opening of the trailer that is also said to be the actual opening for Scream 7. We know the openings for a Scream movie are very iconic, and we're looking at a couple who has decided to rent out an Airbnb, but this isn't just any Airbnb. It's Stu Macher's house. Looks like after the events of Scream 5 and another murdery incident happening inside of it, they've sold it off and converted it into an attraction, which is actually what it is today. I think it's kind of fun in our world because these are mainly fictional movies that didn't happen to real people. Kind of effed up in the Scream world because several people actually did die in this house, but whatever. Still kind of cool to see all the stab posters. I did notice they didn't have any stab movies relating to the newer ones, like Stab 8 that was shown off in Scream 5. The wall here just kind of stops at Stab 6. But the couple do come across a Ghostface animatronic with motion detection. Kind of cool, only for that to let their guard down and have the real Ghostface show up and attack them. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I think this is one of the things I like most about this trailer. It's showing off a lot of kind of inventive chase sequences with Ghostface. While I hope there's more to the opening scene than this, because this is giving away a lot of the opening scene, I do always love a good Ghostface chase running up the stairs, him even getting pushed away by the victims. That always kind of humanizes Ghostface and reminds us the dude isn't Michael Myers or Jason Voorhees, still just a guy in a mask, and a guy in a mask can be pushed around. But I am a little torn on the way it ends, as horrifying as it is to see the girl hanging from the chandelier, holding on by just her feet, when she finally falls on Ghostface and he turns around at the right moment to stab her. Don't know if that's just corny, cheesy, or kind of cool. It feels like a Fast and Furious moment for the Scream franchise. And well, on the 7th entry, kind of feels like that's where we are. Now, that's where the trailer moves on to Sidney Prescott, but just to finish up the opening, we do see in later shots of the trailer that Ghostface is burning down Stu Macher's house. We see him pouring gasoline, lighting a match on fire, and then walking away from the rubble. I hope this is more of a symbolic thing for the franchise. We know this movie will be heavily focused on Stu Macher, Matthew Lillard's character. It's something the fans have been begging for, even the last couple of movies have been teasing up towards.
TV that killed Stu Macher.
If you believe he's dead.
And burning down the house just more means, okay, we're finally putting to rest all this Stu stuff that has been lurking in the past. But now cutting back to Sidney Prescott, where we get some insight into her life. In the previous 2 movies, we've only really known that Sidney has daughters and that she was married to a man named Mark.
I'm just trying to get a run-in before I take the girls to school.
How are you? How's Mark?
I think I'll keep him.
A lot of us thought that was Mark Kincaid from Scream 3, and it looks like at one point it was supposed to be Mark Kincaid played by Patrick Dempsey, but it looks like financial disputes led him not to return. So now, unfortunately, Sidney Prescott is married to Joel McHale, who also happens to be a police officer named Mark. Quite a coincidence. She lives in a small town named Pine Grove, not Woodsboro, where the movie is going to be opening up with the Stu House. Is currently the owner of a coffee shop named the Little Latte Coffee Company, which, what an interesting turn for Sidney Prescott. She went from suicide help prevention line, becoming an author and selling a book, to now owning a coffee shop. Okay. But one of the most important parts of her life will be having a daughter named Tatum, who she does name after her best friend Tatum that was killed in the first Scream movie, also the younger sister of Dewey. Part of the movie will be following her along with her friend group played by Celeste O'Connor and McKenna Grace. Now that we know some of her backstory life, we see in the trailer she once again gets another call from Ghostface and is so nonchalant about her life because it looks like she gets these calls all the time. But this Ghostface is real, and he's even lurking in her attic. it. This is, again, some of the stuff where I was like, looks like director Kevin Williamson, who is the original writer and creator of Scream, but is his first time directing a Scream movie, which is one of the things I'm actually interested about with this film. We see that Sydney has like a safe spot in her house that's all barricaded and put up by metal. In a quick glance, you could even see there is security cameras so Sydney can keep an eye on Ghostface from being locked inside. And this moment where it looks like they have to escape the safe room and Ghostface is aware they're in the walls trying to stab at them, I think that is actually a pretty fun little sequence. And that's not the only one. I think later on in the trailer where we see Sydney is away from her house and is looking at her security cameras where her daughter is and is having to fight Ghostface without seeing where he is, and Sydney is guiding her in the direction and actually ends up shooting Ghostface. I'm like, that's pretty cool. We should know by now Ghostface usually rocks a bulletproof vest and even looks to have survived those bullets when Tatum walks up to him to finish the job. But some rumors suggest that we could be seeing an early unmasking in the middle of a Scream movie, which would be kind of new. I say kind of new because Scream 6 did have a Ghostface unmasking in the opening. Other important characters we get to see in the trailer that we could theorize about is Gale and the Meeks twins, who are the only returning characters from Scream 5 and 6. Now, it's no surprise why Gale is here. She is willing to show up anywhere Ghostface arrives because it means new book, new movie potential, and that's just more money in her pocket. But she's grown very close with Sidney Prescott. We do see that the twins get out of a car with Gale. A lot of us theorize that the way the Meeks twins are involved is maybe they're working an internship or have gotten jobs at Gale's news station, and that's how they end up showing up to Pine Grove to help out Sidney. It also looks like they do have an encounter with Ghostface where they fight him off in a bar. I don't think the Meeks twins are going to have that large of a role, especially because they're trying to distance themselves now from the last two Scream movies. But with this still being the same writers of the last two Scream movies, and in Scream 6 they had Mindy say,
Fuck! Did I miss the monologue again?
I wonder if she will survive until the monologue at the end and be there for the reveal of whoever Ghostface is. I also feel like it would just piss off fans too much if they kill the twins given all the controversy, so I'm also thinking they're walking away from this. But who's not walking away? Sydney's husband. Oh, if anyone thought maybe he was Ghostface, looks like he's dying a gruesome death because Ghostface is here attacking and stabbing him up. We have seen characters walk away from worse, but I don't think he's making it out. Leading us into the big thing that I was actually very surprised about with this trailer is their restraint on showing off a lot of Stu Macher, Matthew Lillard. We only get to hear him in audio form at the end of this trailer.
This is gonna be fun.
And I'm not gonna lie, you kind of earned my respect there because I really thought you would so heavily lean into the nostalgia and putting Matthew Lillard's face, because that's your main selling point with all the controversy. That's the thing that's going to get a lot of butts in seats, and they held back on that. So they're trying to stand on their own merit of just being a Scream movie, which is what I prefer. I don't want this movie leaning too much on nostalgia. And it could be part of the marketing where they're really wanting general audiences to believe Stu is still alive or that he is the mastermind behind this, which could be possible. I am still of the mind Stu is going to still be dead, and whoever Ghostface is just using AI to mimic voices. And from the rumors we had heard from the alternate cut of this trailer, there will be FaceTime calls where Sidney Prescott is looking at Matthew Lillard alive, along with people like her brother, Roman Bridger, and maybe other Ghostfaces from the past. I believe this even more because Stu isn't the only dead character voice we hear in the trailer. We also hear Dewey Riley.
All your friends died for just being near you.
Yeah, that does not feel like something Dewey would say if he was alive, and I don't know the context where Dewey would say that in a flashback. Definitely feels like that's Ghostface using the voice of Sydney's dead friend to mess with her. So all in all, again, I feel like I am 50-50. I think there was actually a lot of cool chase sequences, fun moments for Ghostface to play with his victims. But I guess what was really kind of underwhelming about this is like, this is finally a movie where they put Sidney Prescott back as the main character, which is something a lot of Scream fans desperately wanted whenever Scream 5 was announced. That didn't end up happening, and the franchise proved you could have a successful big Scream movie without Sidney, because Scream 6 ended up being one of the highest grossing Scream movies. It also proved you can keep things fresh and tell new stories with Ghostface and other characters. This movie going not only back to Sidney, but just kind of showcasing off Tatum as kind of a character who's just there. Don't you think that would have been a big deal back in the day? A movie where Sidney has a daughter and the daughter is being hunted by Ghostface. Like, that would be a pretty big deal. But the trailer treats it so nonchalant and just kind of going through the motion. Some people have pointed out it feels like they're almost late to this formula because this feels a lot like what they should have done when Scream 5 came out, because this is looking like the Halloween 2018 formula that we've seen repeated to death now. But we're here either way because of controversies. I hope Kevin Williamson still manages to make a really fun Scream movie. Even with some of my nitpicks and stuff with the trailer, those fun Ghostface moments are the things I think I'm really looking forward to with the movie. The thing I think that'll just be the biggest make or break is the motive and the reveal of who Ghostface is. Because what I'm so afraid is that it is just going to end up being a family member connected to Stu Macher, not just because Sidney killed Stu all those years ago, but they also killed Stu's nephew that was played by Kyle Gallner, a totally wasted character that could have been someone fun in this new trilogy. But that's one of like the lamest Ghostface motivations, an angry relative wanting revenge. Please be more than that. This is where I throw it off to you guys, though. You see the trailer for Scream 7. You happy with it? You disappointed? Your worries or excitements with it? Love to hear it all down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at 3C Films or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.